It is a truth universally acknowledged that come July, it is time for all the Janeites and Jane Austen lovers to come together for Jane Austen July. Namaste, hello, and welcome back to another video on Hamsavahini Vajraasthra. My name is Awhona, and today's video is of course going to be about my pile of possibilities for Jane Austen July. This year it has been hosted by Marissa from Blatantly Bookish, Katie from Books and Things, and Claudia from Spinster's Library. I'll leave a link to their announcement videos in the description box below, as well as in the overhead cards above for all of you to cross-check. So do please join me further in this video. So now let's come down to the readathon itself. Now the only requirement for participation is to read any one novel written by Jane Austen. There are 7 reading challenges for those who want to delve deeper. So of course I'll be going with the reading challenges. So the first reading challenge is to read any one of the major 6 novels which has been written by Jane Austen. So this year I decided to go with the read along and participate in it. So the read along is for Pride and Prejudice, and the dates have been shared in the announcement videos which I have shared previously, as well as they will be in the description box below. Apart from that, I will also be participating in the read along for Persuasion, and I will leave a link to the Persuasion announcement read along announcement video in the description box below and in the overhead card above. I believe it starts from the 4th of July, so I'll be participating in that as well. I also do plan to listen to the audiobook of Mansfield Park, but let's see if I can complete it. However, these are the 3 novels which I'll be reading for challenge number 1. So now the second challenge is to read any of Jane Austen's works which are not one of her 6 main novels. So for this I will be reading Lady Susan, which is the read along. So I'll be participating in the read along as well. And the second book which I do plan on reading is The Watsons, which I could not get to last year completely. However, I hope that I will be able to complete that. So those are the 2 books which I'll be reading for challenge number 2. Now, challenge number 3 is to read any non-fiction work about Jane Austen, or about her time, or about Regency Era or the Georgian period. So for this, I did pick up a very interesting book which I did recently come across, which is A Governess in the Age of Jane Austen, The Journals and Letters of Agnes Porter, edited by Joanna Martin, as you can see over here. And from the jacket of the book, it reads as, "We only know a surprisingly small number of 18th century women as personalities. This is true in particular of women who had to work for their living, which is why the survival of the letters and journals of Miss Agnes Porter, dating from 1788 to 1814, constitutes an unusually important find. Miss Porter, the daughter of a Church of England clergyman, was born in 1752 with brains but not looks or wealth. Although she would have liked to marry, her various hopes ended in disappointment. She therefore had to earn her living as a governess, working principally in teaching the daughters and the granddaughters of the 2nd Earl of Ilchester. Agnes Porter was neither morbidly religious as were her successors, nor did she spend her time dwelling on the unfairness of her situation. She emerges as an intelligent, warm and likable woman, ready to make the best of her lot. Joanna Martin had provided a substantially introduction which sets Miss Porter in a historical context. A Governess in the Age of Jane Austen is a detailed and very early portrait of a woman entering a profession. So this is one of the books that I have been trying to reserve, I would like to say, for Jane Austen July. So let's see where I get from here. However, this is the book which I'm reading for challenge number 3. Now, challenge number 4 is to read any modern retelling of any Jane Austen work or a historical fiction which is set around Jane Austen's time. So for this, I did try to pick up the recent release. In fact, it has not been released as yet. It will be released on June 22nd, and this is by Gil Hornby. It's called Godmersham Park, and from the back of the book, it reads as January 1804. Anne Sharp arrives at Godmersham Park in Kent to take up the position of a governess. At 31 years, she has no previous experience of either teaching or fine country houses, but her mother has died and she desperately needs an independent income if she has to survive. For her new charge, 12-year-old Fanny Austen, Anne's arrival is all novelty and excitement. But Anne is keenly aware that her new role is an awkward one. She is neither one of the servants nor one of the family. And to balance a position between the upstairs and the downstairs members of the household is a diplomatic chess game. One wrong move may result in her instant dismissal. She has just begun to settle in a position when dashing Henry Austen and his younger sister Jane come to stay. Both take an immediate interest in the pretty, clever governess who quickly becomes drawn into the above-stairs life of the Austen family. Despite her best endeavors, Anne finds that she is beginning to fall in love, but has her survival at Godmersham Park just become a good deal more precarious. So this is one of the interesting books that I did find, which does have the most well-known profession for women to survive during Jane Austen's time, which was of course that of a governess. There is another book which I do plan on reading as well, which I found very interesting. So this is The Empress Aeronaut, a Regency set steampunk adventure by Shelley Adina, and this has been recently released as well. So from the back of the book, it reads as Napoleon is determined to conquer the world with steam-powered weapons. Nothing in England can stop him except 2 young lady inventors. In 1819, France is surrounded by armies. With Russia in the north, the Karlsruhe Confederacy in the east, and a pirate kingdom in the south, Napoleon cannot break out, nor can the English navy seem to break in. Europe teeters on the edge of a sword. Whichever side rules, the heir will win. Celeste Blanchard, daughter of the Emperor's disgraced air minister, is running out of time to develop an airship that can carry his armies to England and restore her mother to glory. But on a daring and desperate test flight, she is blown off course and washes up half drowned on the shores of Cornwall in the heart of the enemy territory. Loveday Penhale, cossetted daughter of gentry, has her own inventions to build, even as pressure mounts to behave like a proper young lady and seek a husband instead of a design for a high-pressure steam engine. But when Arthur Trevelyan, heir to the neighbouring estate Gwyn Place, asks for her help in rescuing an unconscious young woman on the beach, Lovedale discovers an aeronaut and an inventor as skilled as she is. Between them a friendship blossoms, and Loveday wonders if they might even pull off the impossible and invent an airship that will catch the eye of the tinkering Prince Regent, who has offered a prize to anyone who can help England break the impasse. Celeste's loyalty are torn in two. If she is caught working secretly for France, she will lose her friend, the love of an honourable man, and her life. But if Napoleon does, she has betrayed him, she will be executed on sight. Can friendship prevail in the face of war? Or is there a third solution, one where everything hinges on bravery and daring of a Cornish debutante and the Empress Aeronaut? So I did find this plot very interesting. So that is probably the second book that I will be reading for this particular challenge. I do also have a third book which I have queued up, but that will depend on whether I finish the first two or not. However, the third book that I do have in mind for this particular challenge is The Particular Charm of Miss Austen, an uplifting comedic tale of time travel and friendship, The Austen Adventures, Book 1 by Ada Bright and Cass Grafton. Now, from the back of the book, it reads as, when a time-traveling Jane Austen gets stuck in a modern-day Bath, it's up to avid Janeite Rose Wallace to save her, because she's the only one who knows that Jane exists. Rose Wallace's world revolves around all things Austen, and with the annual festival in Bath and the arrival of the dishy archaeologist Dr. Aidan Trevelyan just round the corner, all is well and with the world. But then a mysterious woman who bears more than a passing resemblance to the great author moves in upstairs, and things take a disastrous turn. Rose's new neighbor is Jane Austen, whose time travel adventure has been sabotaged by a mischievous dog trapping her in the 21st century. Rose's life is instantly changed. New home, new job, new friends, but she's the only one who seems to have noticed. To right the world around her, she will have to do whatever it takes to help Jane get back home to write Rose's beloved novels, because a world without Mr. Darcy, it's not worth living in. Now, I do understand it is a conflict, because this is supposed to be a modern, it is set in a modern day environment, where however it goes back in time travel towards the end, and the challenge says that it should be a modern day retelling of a Jane Austen work. So yes, it could be close to Pride and Prejudice, because that is a novel which is yet to be written. So I believe there will be elements of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice in this as well, which is what I'm looking forward to. And also, it is not exactly a historical fiction, but it is set in a modern day, but then yes, it will go back to a time in history because it's of time travel. So I did find this very interesting. So this is a possibility. In case if I finish the first two, then I probably will go for this one. So these are the 3 books that I'm reading for this particular challenge. Now, challenge number 5 is to read a book by a contemporary of Jane Austen. So for this, I did choose to come back to Camilla by Frances Burney. I did pick up this book in February. However, I did barely manage to scrap through, so I'm planning to do this again. So Camilla deals with the matrimonial concerns of a group of young people, especially Camilla and her sisters, who are the daughter of a country parson, and their cousin, as well as there is a love interest, and there is a suitor who is very interested in Camilla. So everything with regards to matrimonial perspectives and all the nitty-gritties with regards to it. So that's what this book is all about. It is a huge novel. It will take some time, so I'll probably be reading it half the time and listening to the audiobook so that I ensure that I can finish it. But that's the next book that I'm picking for challenge number 5. Now, challenge number 6 is to watch any of the direct screen adaptations of a Jane Austen novel. So for this, I will be watching Pride and Prejudice, which is the BBC adaptation. I'm not too sure which year it was released, because in this particular series, it is stated 2000, but it was probably 1998 released. So this is one of my favorites, and it is followed by 2 more sets of DVDs, which I do also have in possession. However, I don't have them in front of me now, but that's the first one that I'll be watching. The second series which I'll be watching would be Emma, which is also BBC directed, but I'm not too sure about the year, and it is very, very close to the actual unabridged novel, which I absolutely love. And the third one, which I did come across last year but I could not get to it, was the Jane Austen collection. So this is of Mansfield Park, Northanger Abbey, and Emma. So I do hope that I will be able to complete all of them. And there is, of course, Persuasion, but I'm not too sure which is coming on Netflix, and I will be participating in the read along as well for it. So I am looking forward to it. So these are the few direct screen adaptations that I plan on watching for this particular challenge. Now, the last challenge is to watch a modern day screen adaptation of any Jane Austen work. So I might be watching Sense and Sensibility again, which I did watch last year. I am also planning to go for Clueless this year, because I've never watched Clueless. And of course, there is Austenland. So let's see where I get from here. However, those are the few movies which I plan on watching for challenge number 7. So those are the few books which I'll be reading, audiobooks which I'll be listening to, and movies which I'll be watching for this year's Jane Austen July 2022. So do let me know what you think about them in the comment section below if you are interested in reading any of them along with me, or if you have read them before and if you would like to share your opinions and your views about them. Do please share them in the comment section below. And with that, I'll be wrapping up this video. I'll be back again next week with another video. So till then, take care, have a good reading week ahead, and namaste.